Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and welcome back to Black American Lineage. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do to support this channel. Today, I want to talk about something that you may or may not know, but you can't repeat these things too often because so much has been hidden and stolen from us till however many times we want to repeat it and remind the public of things that were done is probably not too much. So today, I want to talk about Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty in New York City, and the original purpose for the Statue of Liberty. So listen to this.
The Statue of Liberty was designed to celebrate freed slaves, not immigrants. Its new museum now recounts. And it goes on to explain that the immigration came later.
Right.
Years later, it came. It was literally commissioned to celebrate the end of slavery. But when black people walk through, you hear white people say, oh, well, my great great and my great great. But black men, women, and children feel no connection to Lady Liberty.
Come on.
But how much prouder would they be if they knew that their ancestors that didn't come through Ellis Island, that came chained together in the belly of ships, that she was standing on those shackles? How much prouder would those young people be? How much honor would they display in understanding who paid for them?
Yeah.
You erase the chains, you erase me. So why don't we show the chains? And that was the whole point, because you see, once you show the chains, you've got to explain.
These are the chains that she's talking about. There's a chain on the side of each foot, broken chain, symbolizing the end of bondage, breaking the chains of bondage. But America would not present the Statue of Liberty as it was purposed, as a commemoration to the enslaved people and a celebration to ending the bondage. They turned around and made it about immigrants, welcoming immigrants from Europe. So this is just so typical of America. For whatever reason, and this has just been centuries long, America doesn't want there to be anything symbolic for black people to feel any pride or take any ownership of. And that is really one of the sad stories of America. The selfishness, the taking, just taking any small thing. This was a gift from France, if I didn't mention that. France commissioned this to America to symbolize the end of slavery. Now, she made a point. If when black people go to the Statue of Liberty, they came with that knowledge, and that knowledge was well known, there would be a sense of pride. I remember living in New York City and going to the Statue of Liberty, and I just went down there to see it just because I was in New York and I felt like I needed to go and see it. But I didn't feel anything, and I didn't climb those steps to go up there to the head or take the elevator. I think they said it was an elevator you could take, but I wasn't even interested in going up there to the head. I just went there to say I went to the Statue of Liberty. But it just this still goes to show that America does not want to acknowledge slavery. They don't want to acknowledge that what they did was wrong. And as she said, don't want to explain it because they want to take credit for the work that black people did here. And it's very sad. It is very sad. I think it's very sad that people don't. They say they built the country. They say they did this and they say they did that. But when it comes down to it, they can't allow even this for black people. They had to take that and make it about something to do with white people. That's not a strong nation, in my opinion. That's not strong. That's very weak. And that's not all. Listen to this.
A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. As a matter of fact, in a museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty, which is a black woman. When the French artist created the Statue of Liberty, it was supposed to represent the end of slavery. On the original model, there were chains on the hands and feet, as we know. When the statue got to America, they wanted to erase any references to slavery from the statue, but the artist really fought to keep the chains on there because this is your art. You don't want people tampering with your art. And if you look, the chain is still on the foot of the Statue of Liberty to this day.
Well, the story was that it was a gift of the French to the slaves, and that the original statue had the picture of a black woman, the original model for it, and it had a distinctly African face. But it was Europeanized because the people in the United States did not want to have a black face sitting up there in the harbor, so they carved it out. In France, they had to go back to the drawing board and remodel the face after patron saint of Manifest Destiny. So the patron saint of Manifest Destiny, that's her face on the what do you call it, Statue of Liberty, which was transposed from the African face. In fact, you see the patron saint of Manifest Destiny in the symbol for Columbia Pictures at the beginning of the movies. That's the patron saint of Manifest Destiny.
Listen to this rich piece of propaganda. Not everyone was excited about the arrival of the Statue of Liberty. While the monument was meant to express freedom and justice for all people in the country, African Americans were still facing racism and discrimination every day. Okay, that was not what the statue was for. It wasn't about fighting racism or discrimination. It was to commemorate the end of slavery and the breaking of the chains of bondage. So this is just propaganda. And listen to the next part. During that time, women still didn't have the right to vote, and yet the statue portrays a woman as the face of America's political liberty. The notion of liberty for all left many communities feeling excluded and doubtful about the true meaning behind the statue. Well, first of all, the original face of the statue, as we just heard, was a black woman. It wasn't about white women or other communities feeling excluded. America turned it into that and made it about all people, all lives matter, when in fact the statue was about black lives. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to keep uncovering this information and sharing it because, the scam just keeps on being played. Okay, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening and have a good day.